and boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome back to Daily Dive, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show. I am your host, Michael Carvello, saying good morning to all on the West Coast and good afternoon on the East Coast. It's time for lunch. And it's also time for today's topics. Our top story presented by our store via at Daily Dive Lax Linktree. We'll be looking ahead. We'll see what Vancouver, Albany, and New York should do, in my mind, to get better next season after they've already been eliminated. We'll also touch again on GFT being ranked number one still by the Lax Mag player poll, by the player rankings, because yesterday I was muted for the first segment, so I deeply apologize for that. The Fanatics segment 2, will be our Week 19 preview with game picks. And, of course, segment 3, our last brew by B-Riz Coffee Company Code Daily Dive, will be the best bets. And also we'll sprinkle in some playoff scenarios for clinching some home field this weekend. So let's get into it. Our top story presented by Daily Dive Store. Get this awesome logo on great merchandise and more by going to @DailyDiveLax, that's @DailyDiveLax, on our social media and YouTube pages, clicking the Our Store tab and purchasing all the logo stuff. It's right there. Get exclusively on Daily Dive Store. Thank you so much. Support us while we help grow the game. Okay, Vancouver Warriors, Albany Firewolves, and the New York Riptide have been eliminated from playoff contention, meaning there's no scenarios to get in, meaning we will not see Keegan Ball. We will not see Doug Jameson. We will not see Jeff Teat. That is the reality of this season in the NLL. Now, what makes this even more annoying is the Warriors. Let's start with them. The Warriors, it's annoying for them and for fans of the Warriors, not myself, but the Vancouver Warriors traded away Mitch Jones. And Mitch Jones absolutely balled out in Philadelphia. Philadelphia has a chance to make the playoffs in large part because of Mitch Jones, who, oh, by the way, is currently third in the league in points. So Mitch Jones goes away from Vancouver, and all of a sudden Vancouver is even worse. Like, they actually, not worse, they actually got better. It was weird. They signed Aaron Bull off the streets, although Aaron Bull, to be fair, was a former NLL goalie and has played very well for that Warriors team. And they almost spoiled the Rush spoils last week. But the point is, the Vancouver Warriors were not very good this year. I've criticized their coaching for certain situations. I've also criticized their lack of wanting to do more. I don't care. I'll say this loud and clear. I do not care if Keegan Ball works with your team. You either want to get better or you don't. The Georgia Swarm, because people are going to use that argument against me, is they have Lyle Thompson. I told you guys the Swarm should deal Lyle Thompson. Well, now they've won 6 out of their last 7 thanks to rookie goalie Brett Dobson, and all of a sudden things are fine and dandy. But if the Swarm fall down they're flat on their face or don't make the playoffs, you have to wonder, why stick with the same thing over and over and over and over and over? Why were the San Diego Seals okay with getting better? They added guys from Calgary. That's not supposed to happen in this league. These guys have Monday through Friday jobs. The only problem is you must sacrifice some things. Keegan Ball, dude, you're really good. Borderline great. You might be great, okay? You're voted the most underrated player by your own colleagues, your own athletes that obviously are in better shape than I am, that actually play and know and love the game more than I do. You're okay with just sticking Vancouver? If people are so busy trying to grow the game, you have to wonder, should Vancouver move on from Keegan Ball? One of these two sides, either player or team, is going to have to move on. I know an NLL Cup, might be a more of a pride thing than a prestige or money thing. But dude, either grow the game or stay complacent like the league has been for 20 years, okay? I love this league. I say this because I wanted to get better. I wanted to grow. I want people to gravitate towards this. It's why we do this show here on Daily Dive. Stop being complacent. So for Vancouver, deal Keegan Ball. That's me looking ahead. Okay? Because obviously him as option one is not working. You guys have practically free beer and a mascot. That's what's working right now. But how good do you want to be? How much you want to grow the game if a guy like Keegan Ball is literally stuck in Vancouver? I'm sorry. These things have to be talked about or nothing will get done. Albany Firewolves. And by the way, I'm not claiming to know all and just be some prophet over here. I'm just saying the things I've observed from the outside looking in. Albany Firewolves with Jake Fox and company. Doug Jameson, of course, the elephant in the room there. Big goalie. Awesome goalie. He's really, like, I wonder if Doug Jameson, I don't want to put him in the same category as a Keegan Ball because I know that people are going to say that Doug Jameson, well, Keegan Ball is better than Doug Jameson like they would rather have Keegan Ball. That might be true. But Doug Jameson is 26 years old, 6'3", 245, and he's really good in net. In fact, Doug Jameson still has a 78 save percentage, and the team is 2-12. What do you do with that? I would say if I'm Albany, I keep Doug Jameson. I like having Marshall Palace around. Marshall Palace has really looked good since he arrived from Saskatchewan. Not saying he wasn't good with the Rush. I talked to him when he was with Saskatchewan. But with Albany, I feel like his game has opened up. Jake Fox, he's a walking Sports Center highlight reel. So if I'm the Firewolves, me being the amateur that I am, I'm planning on staying with Doug Jameson and building around the core group of guys. Heck, bring in a Keegan Ball. See how that works out. And now for the New York Riptide, another team that got eliminated. Jeff T is amazing. But why I know again that Callum Crawford, who's I've had the pleasure of being in on interviews twice now, on two different shows, I've had the pleasure of being on an interview with Callum Crawford. The dude is so humble, down to earth. He's got a family. He deserves this. He deserves being near home. If home is in Oklahoma and he's technically playing in Fort Worth, Texas, that's at least home for him. But Riptide, I don't know if they got any better or worse by trading away Callum Crawford. And now what? No Jake Fox, no Callum Crawford. Okay, I guess we're just gonna draft Jeff T 2.0 and hope that this one hits 2. I know lacrosse. There's a lot of guys who want to play it, but I don't know how many of them are that talented to just plug and play. Here comes Jeff Teat. I don't know. I know that the young goalie was doing pretty well for New York for a couple games. The Cameron Dunkerley, the rookie, see what he's got, 77.8 save percentage, small sample size, but ride with him. And I'd say another one, trade for Keegan Ball. If I would have the choice of keeping Jeff T in New York or Keegan Ball in Vancouver, I'm choosing the primary all day. We're going Jeff T in New York. And that gets me to my next point. I was muted during this topic yesterday again. I have never done that in like 4 or 5 years of podcasting / broadcasting. I have never said, I've never gone on here and just been muted for the entire segment. I did it yesterday. It means I'm getting old. 26, whatever. Jeff T, why is he still number 1? I'm okay if he's number 1 for a couple of weeks, but I mentioned that Mitch Jones of the Philadelphia Wings was 3rd in the points and may miss the playoffs. Try Jeff Teat, who's above Dane Smith right now. Jeff Teat is number 1 in points. Jeff Teat is 115 points. That's really good. It might be the best in the league. There are 2 or 3 occasions this season when this young man, who apparently loves Drake, by the way, that was his dream concert. You saw the Instagram page. That's just, I don't even know how to say that. I'm like, that's like the typical 21, 22-year-old guy. White guy is liking Drake. I don't get it. Okay, I had to take this shot real quick because you guys know I love Jeff Teat, okay? My pipe dream is to see a Jeff Teat game, okay? I'm going to that game one day. Okay, let me get to this again. Let me get back on track here. Jeff Teat was voted number 1 by his own peers of best lacrosse player already. Already! Dane Smith is not only a 2-time league MVP, Dane Smith is the reigning league MVP. Dane Smith, without Josh Byrne, played really well this year. And the Lax Mag has the audacity and the nerve and the stones to put out almost every single week, oh, Jeff Teat number 1, Jeff Teat number 1. Are you trying not to piss off the other players? Like, what are we doing here? I know there are guys who do great work with the Lax Mag, but I'm telling them this because I want us to improve with the media stuff here. I have a media pass for tomorrow in Georgia's Swarm game against the Saskatchewan Rush. I'm on cloud 19 right now. Forget cloud 9. I'm on cloud 19. I'm 10 clouds above the cloud 9, okay? And to me, media members cannot keep doing this. We can't keep smooching people around. If you say Jeff Teat is better than Dane Smith, better than Tom Schreiber, though I have my thoughts on him, better than Christian Del Bianco, I love goalies, better than Nick Rose, why does he have multiple games this season with only 1 point? Cannot happen. I don't care if Jesus Christ has a lacrosse stick. He's not the best if he's not doing it every single week. Jeff Teat probably on a given week is the best. But am I going to say after a game is over, if he scored 1 point again, that he's the best? No, I'm not. Because it's not fair to other players. Now, obviously, does it mean anything in the long run? Maybe not. But the more and more media does this stuff, like, oh, I guess Jeff Teat, he's immortal. No, he's not. There's a flaw in his game. My personal gripe on him, for a story for another day, he's not as physical as I'd like him to be. That's like picking a trying to find a roach in an ice cream, okay? It's not gonna happen. That's what I'm trying to do right here. Part of the media's job, whatever. When I come back though, are you ready for some picks? I'm ready for some pick'em, boys. Cannot wait. We're talking NLL Week 19. Don't go anywhere. I know I won't. Boys and girls, it's time. That's not what we're doing. It's time for Fanatics, our Week 19 game pick'em. Remember to go to Daily Dive Lax, click the link tree in our bios on social media, and shop Fanatics. You're asking, well, Mike, what is Fanatics? That's a good question. Because if you're watching all these sports, like all these sports on TV, you'll see like, go to NLL, go to NLL shop, go to NBA store. Nah, don't do all that. Don't do that. Use Fanatics. It's literally the same link, but we get credit for it. Because every league practically under the sun, besides the PLL, who never sent me my shirts, I stay taking shots at Paul Rabel. But no, just go to Fanatics and shop the NLL merchandise. I'm going to try to get me a Georgia Swarm jersey tomorrow, or at least an NLL shirt in general to come on the show. I like the Daily Dive shirt, but I got to give me an NLL shirt. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. Week 19 in the NLL. Are you ready for this stuff? All right. Here are the clinching scenarios, by the way. As you'll see there, Toronto Rock will clinch a quarterfinal home playoff game if I can't see them. Okay, that's just sad. I have to get my phone out right here. If Rochester loses versus Albany. So Toronto is not playing this weekend. Toronto can sit on the couch in their team facility that Nick Rose told us about a few weeks ago, and hopefully Rochester loses to Albany. So let's get to that game first, okay? Do I think that Albany, in a game, they're underdogs by 2.5 points, and the total is at 23.5. Do I think in Rochester the Albany Firewolves will beat the Nighthawks? Yes, I do! Upset, baby. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking out of my butt. I might be sometimes. But honestly, I've been really good with my picks. So I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. I think that we've had our guest from Action Network, a really big betting site. We've had Hutton Jackson on, and there's a little bit of a curve to this stuff right now. Like basically, the lines are like not really honest right now because not a lot of people are doing this. Like, yeah, 2.5, I get it. You know, it's hard to like win by 5 goals in the NLL. But I mean, Albany, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Albany stinks, okay? Let's get the exact record for Albany is 2-12. Rochester's 9-6, was undefeated at one point. Rochester also have Connor Fields and Rylan Hartley. Oh, wait. Who does Rochester have again in net? Rylan Hartley. Okay, I'm getting word that Rylan Hartley might be, not by much, but on any given night, Rylan Hartley might be worse than Doug Jamieson. Now, that's like another thing of like picking a roach out of ice cream. You're not going to find one. Both these guys, Doug Jamieson for the Firewolves and Rylan Hartley for the Rochester Nighthawks, are really good. I do believe Firewolves have played some. I thought Firewolves played well against Panther City. We had Maggie Hale on. She said that TK, their coach, said some awesome things in that locker room, probably. I don't know if Nighthawks are like struggling to score. Let's see Albany jumps out in front in this game. It's possible. Let's see if we get a couple of Jake Fox dunks and one of them makes sports in our top 10. You don't think that Rylan Hartley's having an off night? Because I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. And in fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, oh, Rochester not only loses, but they overlook them, and they lose this game. Give me the money line. Firewolves win with the money line, and that would get you by like 2-1 odds. Yes, sir. You're welcome. I'm going to regret that. Okay, San Diego Seals play the Desert Dogs this weekend, okay? But what do the Seals have to do? The Seals can clinch the Western Conference with this right here. If they win versus Las Vegas and Calgary loses to Panther City. Okay. So, once again, let's get to this game first. Will they beat Las Vegas? It's tough. To say how interesting these lines are, the Desert Dogs are only 2.5 point underdogs. Well, they're 2.5 point underdogs, and so are the Firewolves, and they're on the run. It makes no sense to me. Well, the Seals that good? I mentioned the Desert Dogs are without Charlie Bertrand, and that's a problem. But Cooper Perkins really got me thinking about this game. Because I really thought Charlie Bertrand would be a huge missing part, and he will be a huge missing part. But someone on Facebook commented on one of our posts that he loves the way Charlie Bertrand works and hopes he gets better soon. Hopefully it's just like a 1-week injury. Who knows? But Cooper Perkins, I don't know why. He's got his ear to the ground more than we do, of course, as casuals over here, right? Give me the Seals to win by 1 goal. I think Las Vegas can cover. I know that Frank Scigliano can become the 16th goalie, I believe, in NLL history to have 50 wins if he wins this weekend. That'd be kind of cool. I'm going to go San Diego wins by 1 or 2 goals, okay? And if I had a best bet, I would say this game goes under 23.5. Let's do that. All right, now we also mentioned that if Calgary loses to Panther City, so Seals I've got being Las Vegas, right? But the other game is Panther City and Calgary, the Roughnecks. Okay, so remember we had Maggie Hale on yesterday, and she told us that it's a tough game. Calgary's an ugly place to play. I first heard that from John Fraser on the Rush broadcast, and I thought I was wondering what was so wrong about watching those games, and now I know why. The field is atrocious looking. They love it, of course, in Calgary. But would Calgary lose to Panther City? No. I think in this game, remember, it's Calgary is favored by only 1.5. Both these teams play stingy defenses, but I think both offenses can get going. Let's go our best bet to be over 22.5. And let's say the Roughnecks do win the game. Because Tyler Pace did not play last week. And Cooper Perkins mentioned that. A little bit of they were jet lagged. Offense will look better. I know we've got Day Moon and we've got Christian Del Bianco, but we can't hit 23. Yeah, we can. We can hit 23. Let's do it. So that gets rid of that, of course. I think Calgary wins the game, and I think Seals, but can they clinch a quarterfinal home playoff game? They would have to win against Las Vegas, which I think they will. So I think the San Diego Seals do clinch a home playoff game in the quarterfinals. Or Colorado could lose to Vancouver. Let's get to that one. The Colorado Mammoth, here's the deal with them. Warriors eliminated. Nothing to play for besides pride and the love of the game, right? Mammoth have a ton to play for. I think Mammoth wins this game. I think it goes under 24.5. But I think Mammoth get most of the points. I think Dylan Ward goes insane. I think the offense of the Mammoth scores well. Give me like 14-8 in favor of the Mammoth, okay? So I think San Diego only will clinch a home playoff game. They will have to wait till next week to clinch the Western Conference #1 seed. And Calgary can clinch a quarterfinal home playoff game with the following scenarios. These are kind of fun. A win versus Panther City, and one of the following. I've already got them beating Panther City. A Colorado loss to Vancouver, I don't see that happening, or San Diego wins versus Las Vegas. Now remember, I have Calgary winning. I have San Diego winning. So I think Calgary will clinch a home playoff game this weekend. Is that fun for a breakdown for you? And there's still other games to get to. So we're going to do those in the next segment along with our best bets. It's Daily Dive. You're not going anywhere. We're wrapping up next with our final games and more. Don't go anywhere. Thanks so much for joining Daily Dive all week long. Hey, guess what, haters? I hit a Monday through Friday week again. You're welcome. Let me serenade it out. Okay. So, I told you guys my picks again. This is our last brew by B-Rez Coffee Company. That's B-R-E-Z Coffee Company. Their birthday's next Wednesday. What should they do? Let them know on Twitter, please, because they're an awesome company. Code Daily Dive at checkout. I believe the Firewolves will upset the Nighthawks. I believe Calgary will beat Panther City. I believe the Mammoth will shut down the Warriors. And I believe the Seals will escape Las Vegas with a win. I'm going to a game, though, and I have chills just saying that because I love sports. And the last sporting event I went to, and the only one I've ever gone to, was like in 2015, I guess, when the Braves played God knows who at the old stadium and the Braves went on a walk-up. I had no idea. So I'm going back to Atlanta. I'm watching the Georgia Swarm play. Who are they playing? The Saskatchewan Rush. I get to watch Alex Bouquet against Brett Dobson. I get to watch Lyle freaking Thompson against Mark Matthews. I get to watch all those guys. The Mean Green against the Swarm, who supposedly have 9,000 people every week. Charlie, I'm counting on you to fulfill that promise, and I'm going to see what it is tomorrow. I might count them one by one. I might need some extra hands, but we'll figure it out. Who do I think wins this game? Okay. I really would like to see. I'm in a conflict of interest here. There are going to be some Swarm fans in the game, I'm very sure. Might pack the stadium because it's the Saskatchewan Rush and they're a big deal. I want to root for the Swarm. I want to root for the Rush because the Rush are like about the first team I ever started watching. I'm going to go with my rooting interest for this week. I'm going to be neutral. I'm going to just cheer on every team. If I see someone make a dirty play, I'm going to say, you scumbag. I'm not going to do that. People in the media pass probably cannot do that. They might get their hat kicked off them later on. I'm kidding. I do think the return of Matthew Dinsdale is a big deal for the Rush. I think Brett Dobson's a rookie. He's a really good rookie. Just won Player of the Week, Rookie of the Week. And I think he could contend for Rookie of the Year if he keeps it up. Georgia Swarm has had a lot of ammo. They got a lot of fire. They got a lot of fights. I think Rush get the win, though. I think Rush come in there and put it to him early. Alex Bouquet must stop goals from going through. And I think he will do that. Give me the Rush to win. And it's time for my best bets this weekend. Give me Panther City and Calgary to go over the low sum of 22.5. Give me the Desert Dogs to keep it close, plus 2.5 against the Seals, but still losing. And I also would like to request that I get the Warriors and Mammoth under 24.5. Remember, sprinkle some money line on the Firewolves game against the Nighthawks. I think Albany gets a big win in a state they also play in, even though they just came from Fort Worth, Texas. So there you go. This game's going to be fun. I cannot wait to go to this game tomorrow. I'll be leaving about noon Eastern, and I will have a story to tell or two, I'm sure of it, when I get to this show on Monday. Thanks so much to our awesome guests like Cody Jansen on Wednesday. We had Maggie Hale and Cooper Perkins yesterday, and we're going to have more coming in the future. Do not worry. I promise you, you can count on that. There's like 8 more weeks on this show until season 1 is done. It's going by so fast. But for everyone involved in this show, thanks for all the followers on Twitter and Instagram. The likes on Facebook are adding up. The subscribes on YouTube. The views on YouTube. Thanks so much for everything you guys do. And for all that, I am Michael Carvello saying so long. Have a good weekend. I'm going to have fun. See you Monday. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.